All right, guys, we are super duper excited about tonight's team talk about customer care. I've been listening to Sharon prepare for this today, and I know that our guests are so awesome, but just hearing her prepare and talk through everything, I've already learned a ton. So I'm really, really excited to have Bridget, Liz, and Jules as our guests tonight. And as we talk about customer care, such an important topic in our business, and we want to get right to the meat of this training. So I'm going to jump right in and let Sharon get going with explaining why, the why of it all. Here we go.
Hi, guys. Well, I'm sure you guys have heard it's definitely easier to keep a customer base than to continue to get customers and lose them. You know, it's called the bathtub effect, where you continue to fill up the faucet with customers, but then you lose them out the bottom of the drain. We don't want that. And that's why the mission-driven model was created. And what I know from my almost 17 years of experience, your customer base is going to provide for you residual income. And I love that we have a consumable product where people continue to take their Juice Plus, whether you're at the beach, on vacation, having a baby, you know, any of those things, you're still going to get paid on your customer base. So it provides that residual income. What I like to do is have a really personal relationship. I was trying to think of customers. I'm like, okay, well, tomorrow, one of my customers who pretty much has ordered everything, and I like to say I got her pregnant because I helped her get pregnant. She's coming over with her friend who also I kind of helped get pregnant. I didn't tell you that. Anyway, she had artificial insemination and used Juice Plus. So they're both coming over tomorrow. And so we're going to lunch. And so that's the kind of personal relationship I try to have with my customers, and that then provides referrals. So then you have your customer base, but then you have referrals from that customer base, and that continues to provide that residual income. So you always want to try to continue to grow your customer base, keep it full, because then you're going to have potential team members, not just from the ones you know, but also from those referrals. So the mission-driven model on shareyourmission.net, that shows that mission-driven system because of that bathtub effect. We were losing customers, and we want to really help solidify those. So that helps us to make sure that we give our customers a great experience, just like Starbucks. A lot of people are attracted to us because we give a great experience. That's why it's not also sold on the shelves. So we got to think, how can we give this person a wonderful experience? One of the ways is to make sure that we know what results they're looking for, and we continue to just provide extras for them. 5-star customer care as much as possible. We engage them in our groups or however we can, you know, and I know some of the girls are probably going to share that, but there's surveys and different things on the mission-driven model for that purpose of helping to secure that bathtub, okay? So I know that you guys have probably heard about the summer surge. The company wanted to help us to see how important it was to have a customer qualified business. So I'm going to show you how you can look at that. This you may have received in your email. I just wanted to show you this is where it gets really exciting, because the company is really serious, and I'm sure at conference in St. Louis they're going to be doing some recognition as well. But in this bulletin you could have seen people who already have one of the months where they were customer qualified, and then some of them also had the HLP bonus. And I think they're probably all on here tonight. Gloria Hare, Jules Kilker, and Sandy Stetter so far. And then, so they're already at the platinum level, so they're definitely getting something at conference. And then there's 2 more months. There's July and August, and they've already drawn a ticket out of there and given 2 conference tickets and $500. That's how serious the company is at us really focusing on customer qualification. And truthfully, I have not been doing this lately. So I'm going to show you what I learned just by making this visual for you on the next slide. Okay, so here is a visual. I know I kind of marked it up for you guys, but typically we would look at column 4. That's where it says qualified with 1,000. This is the downline growth and PVC report. You can find it under your KPIs on your virtual office, and then you go down toward the graphs, and then right before the graphs there's the end of the month report. And we use this for coaching. And so at the very end of the month, after all customers have paid their installments, we receive this to see where you're at for qualification. Now, qualification allows you to make an extra 5% bonus on everybody in your downline, down 5 generations. Very important for you to really understand and make sure you're always trying to qualify. So column 4 is what we've always focused on. And so if you look at that top person where I put a big red Q, 1513, that's the PBQ or performance bonus qualification. But the company wants us to focus on column 6 now, which is customer qualified. We want to make sure in column 6, which is to the right of that 34, that equals 1,000. Okay, so those 34 customers are processing, bringing in that 1,084. So barely that person is customer qualified. So that's awesome. But then because they have dealers and DDs also feeding into their column 4, they are overqualified, which is good. You know, you want to go over as much as you can. And then let's look down at the next person. They're qualified. They have 1685. You see the red Q on the left, 1685. You go to the right, and there's 27. And they're only bringing in 665 of their own. Okay, so that person needs to get up to 1,000 to be customer qualified. So that person would not have shown up in that bulletin, and we need to work on that customer base. Then you look down at the next person. They're very qualified with 2738. They have a lot of dealers and DDs that are feeding into that column 4, but you go to the right, customer qualified, they have 51 different orders that are coming in at 1576. They are doing awesome. And that's really helping to control their paycheck. They are going to make such a better paycheck. I know that we have one sales coordinator who doesn't have a lot of team, but she has a phenomenal customer base, and she hit $1,000 last month. Just really focusing on that customer qualified base. And what you want is you want that because then you're going to be in control of your own qualification. That person, number 2, they don't have control over their qualification. If the dealers and DDs promote out to VF, they start earning their own qualification. They come out of PBQ. So then that person would just have 665 if all her dealers and DDs had progressed. So anyway, it's good to just look at that column 6, see what your customer base is bringing in to the right of the customer qualified number, which is in column 6. Okay, so I think that might have been most. Oh, I want to show you the next slide. I love looking at the genealogy report. It really tells me a lot. Today I want to focus on what I look at with the preferred customer genealogy report. That comes in every Sunday. I mostly use my customer alerts for making sure I call my customers before their shipment. And I just call them. I'm not worried about whether I need to delay their order or not. I just want to make sure I stay on top of things. And so it always helps to touch base with them. Whether they've been my customer for almost 17 years or not, I give them that call and I say, hey, how you doing? You know, it's been 4 months. Just wanted to check back in with you. How's your supply? And so then depending on what they say, I'll reset the order or not. So that's what I usually use, the alerts. But we get this, and this is why I use this. I use this for declined credit cards mostly. I look at this, plus also to coach the team. But you want to look in the column. I don't know if you can point to that, honey. The ARO ID, you know, where it says ID, where it says either A or R or A or D. That's really the status. And so, oh, good job, honey. I didn't know how to do that on PicMonkey. Okay, so those are the really important symbols. A means active status, and that's active, and it's going to ship out on August 2nd. Okay, so we want to make sure we call them before then. The next one says reset. That means they weren't ready for their next order, so we reset that. Down at declined, that means we need to get on that and just call the customer and say, hey, just wanted to check with you. There might have been a problem with your credit card. Maybe you replaced it. Just need to get your new credit card information. You make it as casual as you can because it really is no big deal. And you call the customer care line and call it in. I also look for canceled. So if you look down to the C, anytime you see a C, I'm like, okay, well, was that somebody who told me they were going to cancel, or did that happen because I didn't catch the credit card last month? Now they show up as canceled. So the C you definitely want to look for to see whether that was a credit card issue, or did they call customer service and say, I don't want Juice Plus anymore. And then the other one that says none for next ship date is Tower Garden. So that one always says MX on there. And so there's a none beside that. And then the R's, that's reset, and that's just good customer care to call them, hey, okay, we can delay it a week or a month or whatever you need. And anyway, that just helps to keep them on track. And that's why I really don't like that, the one-time shipments, because I like having those alerts to really keep me on my toes to make sure I'm calling people before their next shipment. It really helps me to stay in touch.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but that's really the way I see Sharon, and she does most of the customer care. I do a tiny bit, but she does most of it, and I see her checking that stuff all the time, checking who's going to ship, and I can tell you that she is just relentless. It doesn't matter. We could be like on our honeymoon or on our anniversary weekend, and like she's checking it, and she'll be like texting like, hey, your order's going to ship. Like, it's no joke. So that's really, really important, because like she said, it's a lot easier to keep your customers than to get new ones. So we want to have some tips from our pros here of how we are going to keep those customers, serve our customers, and really just take care of them. So Bridget is up first. Hi, Bridget.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Yay.
Hey, thanks for having me. I feel like I'm always working to provide better customer care than I currently do, but I'm always working on it. So I was thinking about 3 different things that I always make sure that I do when Jules asked me to do this call. And the first one is I always do that new customer questionnaire when I get a new customer. It has a couple questions on there, like ask what, I always ask them, why did they order Juice Plus, and what results are they hoping to see? And I want to make sure that I can help them with that, and also make sure that any of their expectations are kind of in line. And if somebody says I want to lose weight, then I know I need to have a conversation with them about how this will work. It's not weight loss only. And then the other thing, I have a lot of out-of-town customers. Most of my customers are not local. So one of the other things I do a lot on Facebook, as soon as I get a new customer, I ask them if they want to be added to our Facebook group, our private Facebook group. They always say yes. And then I ask them if I can welcome them on the group. And that way it allows other people on the group to welcome them, and they just kind of feel more involved. And then I make sure that I post in that group once or twice a week, because I know that if I post in there, it'll show up on their newsfeed and in their notifications. I also make sure that I tag them in other people's posts. If somebody has a post that I feel is relevant or that they would like, or a recipe or an article, I always make sure to tag them on that, just so that it shows up on their notifications and that they can really experience all the information that the group offers, because we have a pretty active Facebook group. So it's really, I have a lot of customers that really like that. Let's see, the next thing was this. I always mail this out to my new customers. I don't know if you can see it. It's the One Simple Change brochure. It's from Juice Plus Promotions. I got it at last conference. But once a month, usually the first Sunday of the month, I try to sit down and I run a report to see who were all my new customers in the last 30 days. And I mail out one of these to them with a handwritten note thanking them for being a new customer. Because really, who doesn't love getting like real mail and a handwritten note? So, and then I feel like it gives me a reason to call them in a couple of weeks. And actually calling my customers is something I tend to struggle with. I'm great at emailing, I'm great at texting, but the actual phone call sometimes I find intimidating. But in the note that I write, I always put in there, I will be in touch with you periodically. So then I feel like, well, I have to call them now. So I call them to ask them if they received this brochure. That's my reason. It helps me get the courage to call them. And then it allows us to have a conversation about the One Simple Change campaign. And then, so that always works out really well. And I can find out a little bit more about their health journey that way. And then it also helps me month to month, because now that they know about the One Simple Change campaign, as a community, we do one every month. And then I feel like, well, I have to call them and text them and let them know what the new One Simple Change is for the month. So it gives me those reasons to call my customers on a more frequent basis. And like, I actually have something specific I need to talk to them about besides, I don't want to be that, hey, are you just ready for your next order? I want to be a resource for them. And then I also text periodically. I find that sometimes people will respond to a text really quickly. So I might text out a reminder, hey, did you take a Juice Plus today? If they told me that was a struggle. Or I've also been texting some of those really short videos on Share Your Mission. So the ones that are like 1.5 to 2 minutes, how Juice Plus is made, or that I saw a farmer's video or a doctor video. I'll text some of those out to my customers periodically if I think it's something that they'd be interested in. And it's something quick that they can watch right there, really quick on their phone. They don't have to go back to their computer later on. And then one last thing, I got these cards at Michael's. A couple months ago, they had a whole line of like vegetable related cards that I thought were really cute. So I picked up a bunch and I send them out periodically to my customers for birthdays or just, to say thanks for being a great customer. So I find that a lot of those things, I always get a response back later on, whether it's a call or a voicemail, or if they just text me, hey, thanks so much for the card. That was nice of you. So I find those things are things that I always make sure I do with my customers.
Wow.
She's amazing. Wow. Let's not all be intimidated.
I'm over here taking notes, just so you guys know. I'm taking notes. I got to step up my game. That is amazing. I love it. So how much time does it take for you to spend with that personal touch in the Facebook groups?
In the Facebook, well, I try to post once or twice a week in the Facebook group. I look at it every day, and I look to see if any of my customers have posted or commented. And then it takes me a few minutes every day just to take a look and post something. It's
not a huge amount of time, but imagine everybody how that feels to be one of her customers. How good does it feel that that she's really has this personal relationship? That is awesome. I love it. That's what customer service is all about. Great job. Love it. All right, we're gonna move on. Hey.
Hi, everybody.
And Liz, give us some tips.
Hi, sure, yeah. So I do, Bridget is my mentor, so I do a lot of what Bridget does. But I know one thing for sure that I think the same with Bridget that was hard is the phone call. But I can't stress how important it is and how you just take a deep breath, set a timer, and do your phone calls. And people really like it, and it's really engaging. Even if sometimes I'm calling, I'm like, oh, I hope they're not there. I hope they're not there. I hope I can just leave a message. But then you
That's us.
We're frozen.
She's still going.
amp things up a bit in that respect. So I think that's pretty much it for me. I do the survey. So at the 4-month mark, I do the survey to call and ask them those questions. I had a couple of people I never got in touch with, so they emailed it to me. However, I found calling and asking was the best one, even though it is a little awkward, when you're asking about their bowel movements and are they regular and things like that. But you get through it, you giggle and you move on. But it's very important. And Jules taught me this. Like, it starts to get them to think, oh, I do have more energy, or my nails are growing. Wow, that is a positive effect. So I found those to be very good things. But I try and treat my customers the way I'd want to be treated. That's it.
That's awesome. We missed some of that. Our computer connection, we got lost, and now we're back, so everything's good.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. I'm sorry you missed it.
I hope the recording kept going. All right, so I'm going to move on because I don't have any comments on that.
Oh, that's okay.
I hope it was good. I'll watch the replay.
It was
good. Jules, share with us.
Okay, well, I feel like a proud mama because those two girls did so well, and there's not much I can add to what to do for customer care. I think that the surveys are really important. That one question at the beginning, what do you expect to happen, is is the key to keeping a customer, because if they're expecting, like if he's expecting his allergies to get cured, we have to let him know, like, it may happen, it may not happen, but we do know what's going to happen, and this is what the research shows. So it's really good to know their expectations, because you're going to lose your customers if you're not meeting their expectations. One of the things about calling customers, and I leave messages about this all the time because I still hate picking up the phone and calling my customers. I've been doing it 7 years. I doubt it's going to ever go away. However, what I have found, and Gordon Hester has really mentored me a lot in this, and he said, it's not about you. When you call your customers, if you're nervous, it's because you're worried about you, about what they're going to say to you or how, you know, it's going to affect you. But honestly, it's about them. And when you sold Juice Plus to them or shared Juice Plus with them, you made a connection with them. And so you have to take that connection deeper, and it's about their health journey. It's not about Juice Plus. We're not about selling Juice Plus. We're about helping people get healthier. And so when you remember that, when you call them and you text them, and I try to tell my team this too, don't text them, are you ready for your Juice Plus to ship? Because at that point, they feel bad if they haven't been taking it, and then they're going to stop answering you. You say, how are you doing on your health journey? Is there anything that I can help you with? You said you were going to drink more water. Have you been drinking more water? That's why you have to keep notes on your customers, because if you don't know, and I keep it in the notes section of my phone, because I always have my phone. I never lose my phone. I do have a few pieces of paper scattered around my house. But I like to keep it in my notes section so that when I'm calling them, I can bring up the notes and it shows me exactly what we talked about last or whatnot. But it's got to be so personal. That's what takes good customer care to exceptional customer care, is that you know their kids' names, you know where they went on vacation, you know what they expect, you know what their ailments are, and you know what they're doing good in, and you celebrate their successes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I saw your post in our Simple Changes group that you're drinking more water. Good for you. You know, I'm rooting for you this month, or whatever it is. People want to be praised to success. They don't want to be, you know, are you ready for your Juice Plus? Because what I have found in 7 years is they're going to tell me when they're ready for their Juice Plus. If I have to ask them, they're not ready for it. And so most of the time, you know, that's just kind of how my customer care goes. I'm more about investing in them than finding out if they need more Juice Plus. I always invite them to events, whether they're live, if they're local, or on Facebook if they're not local. Our customer group is insane. It's so good. Everybody's engaged. It is because it's a larger group, but I think people, it's all about healthy living, and people just really love to share in there. And then I'm having my first ever customer appreciation event next week, where I'm just having coffee and muffins and a little goodie bag, which I actually haven't decided what's going in the goodie bag yet, but a little something for my customers to take home. And I'm going to tell them if they can't be there, then we have 2 live events, one Saturday morning and one Thursday night, that they can come to if they can't make my event, so they can get their goodie bag. So it's all about the little touches. And the other thing I do, I try to remember when I'm doing customer care is, okay, I buy a lot from home-based businesses because people support me, so I support them. I support Stella and Da, I support doTERRA, I support Young Living, I support Mary Kay. When I think about, hardly ever do they call me and say, how are you doing on your products? Or what did you like about it? Or are you enjoying that? And it kills me. I'm like, I would order more from you if you just called me and talked to me. So that actually urges me to call my customers and let them know about the Vineyard Blend, let them know about the Complete, because I would buy more from my friends if they let me know more. But so I don't know. I hope that helps. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I was wondering, Jules, if I was your customer, how often would I probably hear from you?
Well, so it's really a personal base, what do you call it? Case by case. So if you're a new customer, you're going to hear from me every month for the first 4 months, a phone call. After that, depending on our relationship, I may tone it down to text messages, to emails, to Facebook message, and you may not hear from me as much as a phone call. And so that's kind of how it goes. And I have customers, I've been doing it 7 years. They were my first customers when I started, and I don't talk to them as much, and that's not good. I probably should, but I may take them for granted. But I do connect with them every so often somehow, and I like to send little things in the mail, whether it's a a thank you note. I try to send a thank you note every time I get a new customer, a little pill box, a little magnet, something.
That's great. Awesome.
Well, I just thank you, Jules and Bridget and Liz. You guys were awesome. You guys are doing a great job, and your customer group is rocking. I just wanted to add a couple things. I forget what they were. One of them was
Kristen.
that. What was that?
Kristen? And Kristen Lassay, wasn't she inviting people to her event? Or?
Oh, yeah. She did have a One Simple Change Zoom for her customers. She said, I don't want you guys just taking this because my word for it or anything, and I want you to really know why Juice Plus is, what it's doing in your body and stuff. So we did a One Simple Change Zoom for her customers. That was neat. The other thing I wanted to mention was that I was able to handle, because it might sound like a lot that these girls are doing, but it's part of their lifestyle. This business is best lived having fun, making it part of who you are, part of your lifestyle. So it's no big deal what they're doing. They're going that extra mile, but they're doing it because they're loving on people. And Renee O'Neill, one of the national marketing directors, says, find your happy place in your customers. Enjoy it. Be like your family. You would gift them. You'd pick up a little something for them here or there. So I love the examples that you guys shared. And I just want to say that I was reflecting back, and it's not to brag at all, but I had my qualified customer base, Doug's, before he became active, and I had Dr. Sorota's. So it's not like you guys can't up your game as far as having a really good customer qualified business and do 5-star customer care. That's going to help you to then introduce somebody into our community because they see the quality of how our community works. And so it's an easy transition to say, why don't you join us on our mission? Our mission is all about inspiring healthy living around the world. And then we're able to touch more future generations. So you guys are doing an excellent job. And I think that we all could up our game always. And it's great to hear those tips from you guys tonight.
Awesome. Well, this was awesome, guys. Great job from the guests. And if you guys have any further questions for these guys, please post them in the Facebook group so that we can kind of keep the conversation going if necessary. But make sure we act on this. Watch it, take some notes, and let's up our game. And I think you're going to see a lot more positive results in your business. So thanks for coming on tonight. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night.